Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the Cold War because I just wanted to make this video. Yeah, let's get started. So, the Cold War basically was tensions between the West and the USSR and China. So basically, they didn't like each other, they were rivals, and they tried to outflank each other in terms of military and economy. So yeah, so it started right after the Second World War in 1947, and it ended when the USSR collapsed. So basically, all its countries that it owned all broke away from it, and it collapsed, which made the Russian Federation, which we have today. So yeah, 3 causes: American fear of communist attacks. Yes, this was caused because these 2 powers, the Soviet Union and the United States, they had different ideologies, which meant they had different global political opinions on things. So yeah, it was caused by, and also Truman's dislike of Stalin and Stalin's paranoia. He was paranoid very much. So the USSR's dislike of capitalism. They really didn't like capitalism because they were 2 different ideologies and they were rivals. Because I don't even know. Even I don't know. USSR's actions USSR's actions in the Soviet zone of Germany. So yeah, after World War II, Germany was divided between the USSR and America, France, and Britain, and that later became just America. And how Stalin treated his side, he didn't give his people much freedom at all, and he mistreated them very badly. So yeah, he was kind of a jerk. America's refusals to share nuclear secrets. Yes, this is where spies came in from different sides, and they would go into each other's zones, and then they would steal their ideas and make it their own, and they would start building nuclear weapons out of the information that they found. Oh yeah, the Cuban Missile Crisis. This happened in the 60s, I think it was 1966, 1967, something like that. And basically, the United States did not like nuclear weapons so close to their territory. Like Cuba, when you think about it, it's really close to Florida, and so they forced the USSR to remove its nuclear weapons from there, and then in result, the USA also removed its nuclear weapons from Turkey. They put nuclear weapons in Turkey as well. The Cold War began after the surrender of Nazi Germany in 1945. The Cold War changed the world. Why is Cold War important? Yeah, so this is the countries that were involved. There was the United States, obviously, and there was the Soviet Union, obviously. Japan was a very close, was and still is, a very close ally of NATO. France, yep. United Kingdom, Netherlands, Greece, South Korea, because, yeah, in 1950, there was something called the Korean War, and North Korea tried to take South Korea. They tried to unify Korea, but the US and NATO were just having none of it, and so they helped South Korea, and they pushed North Korea back, and then China joined in, and then China pushed the USA and South Korea back, and then the Americans and the South Koreans pushed the Chinese and the North Koreans back again, and then there was armistice, and it ended in 1953, and that resulted in something called the 38th parallel, which divides North and South Korea, and it still stands to this day. And it's also called the Demilitarized Zone, which is actually the most militarized zone in the world. So, like, that is a picture of West Germany and East Germany. As you can see, Berlin was right in the Russian zone, but Berlin was divided as well between the Americans and the Soviets. And there's also something called the Vietnam War, which was a lot like the Korean War. There was a North and a South. The North side was, of course, the Northern side was, of course, the Americans, and the Southern side was, of course, the Northern side was the Soviets, of course, and the Southern side was the Americans. And this time, the Americans didn't win. The Northern side just it won, and there is still communism in Vietnam today. It was one of the most embarrassing moments in US history. And of course, how it ended. So, in 1989, the Berlin Wall just fell. They allowed the Western population to destroy the wall, and the Eastern half came back into the Western side, and Germany wasn't divided anymore. It became an actual country again, and it became one piece. Like, it became how it is today. And then also in Poland, they started having elections, and they broke away from the USSR, and so did the entire Eastern bloc of the Soviets half. And Lithuania, which is a modern day country in the Balkans, the Baltic, they were the first to break away from the Soviets. And the Soviet economy just fell apart, basically resulting in the collapse of the Soviet Union. And that and then the countries that got their freedom from the Soviet Union were Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, Ukraine, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan, and yeah, that's basically all. And yeah, that was basically what the Cold War was. And yeah, thank you guys for listening to me ramble on and on and on and on and on. And yeah, thanks. And